Hey everybody, welcome. Here is a spectacular demonstration of mainly the New Horizons mod, but I also want to show off a few more. If you haven't figured out by now, I'm kind of a parts whore. So let's just jump into my New Horizons save. And I've noticed this before, there's kind of a glitch sometimes, probably due to the fact that I have over 1,000 patches installed whenever I load. Yeah, there it is. I have to back out. And reload, should be fine. Spectacular. Alright, cool. So the awesome atmospheric details you see here are from Scatterer, which is a really nice graphics mod. It works well, I think, with the New Horizons. So, let's just jump into it. Here I have a vessel which is not so ironically named. Cheaty McCheater. Awesome. So, this is the culmination of a few parts packs. Mainly, I want to showcase the Alcubierre drive. So Dr. White with NASA had a little bit of a rendition of the French scientist who generated what's known as the Alcubierre drive. The theoretically possible summation of general relativity and being able to travel faster than light. Well, that might sound counterintuitive, but on paper the Alcubierre drive contracts space-time in front of the ship and expands space-time behind the ship, effectively pushing it in a forward direction. So space kind of moves it. It doesn't really move through space, which means that even though you might be traveling faster than light from like maybe Kerbin's perspective, you're technically not, so it allows you to travel faster than light. Very beautiful part. I do like it. The Alcubierre drive. This is the 2.5 version. There's also a smaller one. That's not it. Here we are. It folds out. You can't really. It doesn't really show the animation here, but it forms a much smaller ring. And if you look here, you can toggle the bubble guide. So the bubble this generates is pretty small. It's for small crafts. And if something is outside the bubble, it would theoretically get chopped off, I guess. So that's why I use the larger one. It encompasses a much larger space. So you can put multiple of these on the same ship and won't do any damage as far as I know. But the main problem with Dr. Alcubierre's design of the Alcubierre drive is that it takes an astronomical amount of energy. So in the game here in Kerbal Space Program, they get around that little hiccup by using what's called exotic matter. It essentially just kind of bypasses the whole need electricity bit. Anyway, so that's the Alcubierre drive. Very cool. And it's a standalone mod, just those two parts that allow you to travel faster than light. Very awesome. And then here we go. LeBeau. Formulas LeBeau made this a fantastic parts pack with tons of separators and these lateral monopropellant engines and liquid fuel engines with a decent amount of thrust. It has 210. It's fairly small, right? I use these hummingbirds, which are attached to the bottom. So you can see here that my vessel is comprised of two halves, split right here at the docking module. The top half I like to refer to as the driver. So this is going to stay in orbit after we take off, and I'll undock and land with the lander part and take back off from the surface of whatever planet would have you, redock, and then fly to wherever the journey takes us. So in LeBeau's part pack here, along with tons of amazing solar panels, and I used one of their command pods, which is equipped with an atmospheric and if you look at the description, it has an atmospheric analysis sensor already in it. But with the D-Magic Science Pack, there's a ton more science things that I added here. Basically, jack of all trades as far as I'm concerned. So everything is on for space is on the top module, and everything for atmospheric analysis and surface-based analysis is on the lander module. So along with the amazing command pod here, there's also a very cheaty thing that they made. Here it is, the BAM electric generator. So in the BAM electric generator, it takes 0.4 electric charge and generates 8.5 electric charge per second. So this got probably perpetual motion or something like that. But it says here, blue antimatter, the same scientific composites from Krypton. Anyway, so this gives me infinite, basically, electricity, and there's definitely some other mods that have options to infinite propellant efficiency, but I just use this because it's pretty. And the BAM fuel generator, which requires electric charge and then generates basically infinite liquid fuel, oxidizer, monopropellant. So, kind of the way I view this vessel is kind of a futuristic, Star Trek-y, visit all the planets in one go bit. It's very cool, super cheaty, so if you're into cheaty things, not a big deal, but the concept is amazing here. I can travel to any planet. Oh right, I forgot to mention, so with the Alcubierre drive, since it moves space around you, you conserve your angular momentum. So that means if you're traveling like 100 meters per second in one direction around Kerbin, and then you warp over to, we'll say, Joule, it's a much stronger gravitational pull, as well as it's much farther away from Kerbin, which means its orbit is much, much slower. So you'd be going much faster in the same direction. So that's where these engines here come in handy, and the infinite fuel they come with. So without further ado, let's take this puppy off. Cool. And the main reason that I made it manned was because I also have the communication, or actually the new, it has relay antennas, which allow it to transmit science if I do so please. But if I'm too far away from Kerbal, if it was a drone, I would be unable to use it since it would lose range with its dish if I was far away. This is a very powerful dish, but anyway, let's take off. Initialize the BAM electric and fuel generators, which I also have linked with my solar panels here. Let's take off nice and slow. So this in the New Horizons mod, it utilizes Kopernicus, which is kind of a planet generator. You can program as many planets or what have you in it, and the New Horizon mod is a beautifully equipped solar system with tons and tons of planets. The most spectacular part, I think, about it is that Kerbin does not orbit the sun. Kerbin orbits a gas giant, along with its many moons. So this planet is just one of many in this entire solar system. It reuses some of the planets in the original part, like Elu here, or Lathe, the moon of Joule, is now its standalone planet, and the Mun is also part here. There we go. So all I need to do is get far enough away from Kerbin before this warp drive fails safe. Alright, so I have to get to 600 kilometers before I can initiate the Alcubierre drive. So I'm just trying to get as far away from Kerbin as possible. I don't need to, it doesn't really matter what direction I'm going. I don't need to, there we go. I need to start orbiting because, yeah, we'll see. So, let's time warp to 600 kilometers. There it is. There's Kerbin down below us with the really great looking atmospheric changes from Scatterer. Very cool mod. And let's head to what's a cool one right here? Let's head to Sarin. I'll set as our target. Let's get a little farther away from Kerbin so they don't shoot past and go drop below the failsafe distance. That looks about good. And initiate the warp drive. Oops. There we go. So I have a hotkey so that the chemical engines turn off and the Alcubierre drive turns on. So you see here, the bubble formed, goes in here at the back. It's kind of a donut. Very cool. I like it very much. And let's take off. Throttle up. Skim real close to that failsafe. And we're past Kerbin. Sweet. So, if you take a look at the throttle bar, this is just a hair. So since we are traveling to another planet in the same solar system, I'll take this nice and slow, but we'll look at Kerbin as it disappears into the distance. There's just a hair increase of throttle. And let's keep our eyes on Saren. Throttle down when we get close. So, an interesting part about this is if you're going too quickly, the game really doesn't recognize, like, the speed at which you can travel is astronomical. But you can shoot straight through planets, similar to time warping through planets. It's kind of a glitch, but I don't want to do that. So let's get like that exactly. So that's what happens when you throttle up. Let's go back to Saren. Hold on. Here's our warp drive velocity. 2,500,000 meters per second, or 1% c, the speed of light. There's 2% the speed of light. So the throttle bar doesn't really have percentages of throttle. It's really it's separated into percents of speed. Hold on, let's throttle down. And we are real close. There we are. Let's move to retrograde. Turn those chem engines on. Still, we're going to scrape pretty close. Let's keep going until my orbit is reversed. Let's just increase our orbit from here. Radial burn to normalize our orbit, and let's change the circular. And there we go. Looks fine. So here, let's initiate all the space scans. Boop. All right. Gravity. There we go. All 7 of them. So the gravity scans are readings show the exact size and shape of Saren to be exactly what Kerbal scientists estimated previously. Very cool. Let's reset this. The canister doesn't seem to open up no matter how hard you try. You decide the best course of action would be to make the result up. Classic scientists. From the distance, Saren looks beautiful but a little unsettling. So the really cool part about the New Horizons mod is that for every planet and every moon, it has their own quirky little scientific descriptions, which is really amazing, considering that it's not the D-Magic orbital science isn't even their mod, right? So they went through the trouble of making all those scientific readings even for not even their mod. So the planet seems very melancholy for the Iridian scan. Magnometer says small, weak. Broad spectrum analysis is concluded. Very small emissions are detected from Saren's poles, but they are almost drowned out by Sonus emissions. Very cool. So, that's just a little taste. I'm not going to land down on Saren. Let's go to a little more faraway planet, shall we? So we got to get past that failsafe, which for this planet is 480 kilometers. There we go. Let's head to my favorite planet. It's a gas giant. Another one. There's Sona here is a gas giant, but there's also the very outwardmost planet in this game, Vanor. So let's shoot off to Vanor, shall we? Let's take a look at Sona and Saren as we shoot off. Okay, let's take a look at our solar system map and max thrust. Which is 6,000% the speed of light. It's crazy fast. Alright, so let's slow down a little bit as we get close to Vanor. Can't quite see it. There it is, that little speck. Looks like the fail-safe. Disregard. Awesome. So here we are, very close to Vanor. But I wanted to get to is Titus, its innermost planet, on the farthest away planet, which is gas giant. Very interesting. Let's speed up. If I wanted to go past Vanor, or directly to Titus, I would have to go very, very close to Vanor here. So let's speed up a little bit. I know Vanor just ducked behind there. Titus did. There we go. So let's select Titus, which it is. Okay. Now we get nice and close. Oh God. What have I done? Okay, so thank God we're not going towards the planet, otherwise we'd be pretty screwed. But let's go ahead and time warp a little bit, so we're a little farther away from Vanor. So that's if you are going a little slower, if you get too close to a planet, it'll activate the failsafe, and you might be very well screwed. Anyway. Let's activate our engine. Oop, no, the failsafe for this is 8,400 kilometers, which looks like I'm not. Oh, so close. So close. Okay, so let's activate our chem rockets and boost off towards Titus. Okay, looks like we will reach the failsafe at our apoapsis, so let's warp there. $8,400. We have met it. Let's just get a little closer to Titus here. All right. So we are 5 million meters, sorry, correction, 590,000 meters away from the surface. Let's go ahead and boost retrograde to adjust our orbit. Okay. Let's scoot down to our periapsis here. Let's read the information about Titus. The equator of this vast ocean world is only kept liquid from the tidal forces exerted from Vanor. Scientists at the Kerbal Space Command recommend wearing a jumper when visiting. Well, that sounds inviting. Let's boost retrograde. Well, there we go. It's a pretty circular orbit. That looks nice. Let's try and meet up here at the equatorial node. And I think anti-normal would be the ideal here. Nope. Normal. Let's boost normal and make this a nice equatorial orbit. Beautiful. Looks good to me. All right, now for the fun part. Let's quick save here. Oh no, what have I done? There were no Kerbals in my landing module. Well, that's problematic. Well, before the magnetics re-energize, you have to go a certain distance away. So let's just send out our scientist. Oh goodness. Don't hit those solar panels. There we go. Let's see here, where's the hatch at? There it is. There we go, we got a scientist on board, and we need a pilot. Well, Jeb's piloting the... There we go, the mover here, the driver. Let's... Uh-oh, that could be bad. Perfect. Good job, Valentina. So, let's go. Let's plan out where we're gonna land here first. Let's try and make it onto one of these. So it looks like there's the icy poles here, but a nice liquid ocean, which is intriguing, and earthy rock surrounding it. So let's aim for one of these parts. So let's burn. Sorry, normal. And retrograde. Perfect. Okay, that might actually be a little shallow. Might have to do a lot of braking between there. So let's. That looks good to me. Let's warp a little closer. There we go. So some of the warp mechanics with these planets are a little shoddy, so we have to wait a little while before I can do the deorbit burn. Its atmosphere starts at 40,000, so we're not quite close to it. So we're aiming for this little shoe here. Since I have infinite fuel, really, I'm just going to go right over it. Burn full retrograde until I have almost zero velocity. Perfect. We will make it to the shoe. All my spectacular science parts. So, this planet is rotating fairly quickly. Let's see if we can't adjust that. Let's go the other direction here. There we go, inland a little bit. The interesting part is, even though I can only warp one until below 13,000 meters, once I get to the atmosphere I can do times 4. So let's wait until we do that. There we go, changed our trajectory slightly. So it seems like the planet is actually moving fairly quickly. Never fear, we'll make it. So let's get a little closer to this bluffs here. Go. Coming in pretty hot. But this thing has a very, very mild atmosphere at the proportions, but once we get down in there, there we go. It's a little warmer. A little farther away from the water than I planned, but kind of close to these rocky cliffs. Kind of what I intended. Perfect! A little harder of a landing than I intended, but we made it. So let's, I hotkeyed all my awesome science things here. Okay, everything initialize. Tons of scans. Great. Gravity scan. Cliffs the cliffs distort the gravity of this moon. Interesting. Let's keep that. The cliffs are slowly melting, causing earthquakes and landslides. Also cool. Atmospheric pressure scan says it's a bit cold, but a barbecue would still be amazing. The temperature scan says collected data. The atmosphere is so thick that some types of plankton have become airborne. What? Live? That's crazy. Writing the thermals that the ocean creates. Many small goos cling to the side of the goo chamber, trying desperately to release their friend. Well, that's pretty awesome. The home of the goos, I guess. And several curious creatures walk up to the shore and look at Materials Bay, wondering what all the fuss is about. Wow, this is crazy. Some cliffs have surprisingly high levels of silicates in them, as though the water has melted. And some of those rocks are wet, but the water is close to freezing. Seismic surveys conducted in the area. Diverse community of microfauna is present here with the bioscan. Or biodrill, sorry. Very cool, living between the mud particles. And the silicates are similar to the silicates on carbon. So, super awesome planet. You can, for good reason, it's very, very difficult to get to via normal means. But yeah, let's take Valentina, our resident scientist. Oh no, you're the pilot. I'll let you do a crew report. Sandcastles, ice cream, and seagulls. It's just like Seashore and Shoreman. Wait, those aren't seagulls. Very cool. Let's get the scientist Bob out. Awesome, Bob. Whoa! Oh, that's pretty strong. So let's have you take a sample. Sand is perfect consistency for sandcastles. Amazing. And let's just plant a flag. Very cool. Hopefully we can make it home. So let's have this little ladder extend for us here. Hop back in the ship. Let's take a quick crew report while we're here. It's almost like we kind of landed on Kerbin, only colder and darker and stranger. Actually, it's not like Kerbin at all. Alright, so let's wait for our driver here to reach around back to us. There we go. Odd that we weren't showing up on the scanner. Okay. And let's take a quick save and blast off. The atmosphere at low levels, oh no, does terrible things to maneuvering. Let's wait until we slow down a bit. There we are. So we're going to have to do a fair bit of maneuvering to get over to our driver module here. Including go the right way. Let's burn radial. There we go, much better. Ah, just look at that view. So we're this is Titus around Vanor, or Vanor, however you want to say it. get a little higher. There we go. Do that 13.9. Correction, 139 meters. Or 139,000 meters, really. So my intention is to do a prograde boost here, and then adjust the inclination so that we meet up at least fairly close with the cheater driver. There we go. Let's see here. So this is my favorite part about having infinite fuel. Is let's match the velocity of our target. Even though that is so it's in a different portion of the orbit, so if I was going in this direction as fast as the driver is, go. There we go, that's pretty close. Pretty good separation. Alright, now let's just use our RCS thrusters, meet up, and get to it. There we go. let's have Jeb. Control from there. Perfect! Awesome. Real easy, just get as close as you can and then use a lot of thrust. Anyway, so that's a pretty basic overview. Getting home is just going to be just as easy. But yeah, if you wanted to explore every planet in a new parts pack, this is how I would do it. So, as always, have a good time and keep on cribbling.